Hello everyone, hope you're well. This is CoinsKid. Just come down to XRP. Once again, thank you for your support, okay? Big of the CoinsKid cruise. So it was a few days ago, I think around about last Thursday, wasn't it? We were sitting in the buy zone on the micro greed for XRP. We zoomed in on the Friday time frame and we saw a lovely little bullish divergence just there, okay? So that was a nice little trade. Jumped in at that point, and right now, not a massive upside, but you can clearly see if you rode it up and took support, resistance, and pay profit on this level of resistance, look at that, resistance there, resistance there, resistance there, you would have had an 8% trade, okay? A little micro in and out trade, and this is what I do on the channel. Try and find little longs and shorts. For example, yesterday, I did spot a nice little short opportunity on Cardano because what we got is a sell warning on the micro time frame. We've got a red sell warning basically, and like I said to you, I think that offers a short. And in the last 24 hours, pretty much since I made the video, we've seen like a 5% drawdown on Cardano. So like I said to you, for those people paying attention yesterday, on the 15-minute time frame, we did have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 setup with a bearish divergence in the overbought trajectory on the RSI, and that's led to this pullback. So again, you've just come back into this sweet spot here. Look at this, got candle breakout, you've had your back test, and right now it looks like some kind of reversal is trying to form there for Cardano. So they're the little micro time frame trades that I do find for you, but you can find them yourself. All you've got to do is come to CoinsKid.com, look at the micro greed warning. If you see something that says sell warning, it's increased probability of a short. If you can see something like Trump right now with a buy warning, it's increasing the probability of a long basically. But what you've got to do is zoom in. If you see 5 waves in the direction of your counter trade, so for example Trump, if there's 5 waves down, increased probability of a buy warning and a long playing out. If you see BNB 5 waves up with a bearish divergence, increased probability of the short playing out, and I've taught you that on the channel, okay? If you do want to go long or short, I would highly advise Bybit or Blowfin. Both links are in the video description right there. Let me dive into a couple of indicators before I do dive into the XRP chart with yourselves today and show you my macro outlook as well as my short-term outlook for XRP, okay? So the first indicator is on CoinsKid.com. Now I made a lot of indicators for you over the years. I've made the flip indicator, the buy and sell ribbon indicator. Now they are custom indicators on TradingView. If you want to get them, just become a premium member. It's really simple, follow the process, and then you get access to them on TradingView, okay? Amazing indicators that we've looked at many times. So basically we've got a couple of more indicators here that I've created. One is not my own indicator, the Bitcoin price cycle top, but I've incorporated it into the website for you, okay? The indicator is price cycle top. This is called every single top for the cycle for Bitcoin. Usually when the red line crosses the green line, the cycle tops within a few days, okay? Just there in 2013, just there in 2017, just there in 2021 as well. The top was in with a couple of days, and what we've not seen in this cycle so far is the green line crossing the red line, okay? So, you know, I wish I much luck with that, but, you know, going forward, just absolutely no guarantees that this will play out again, but historically it has, and it is part of my confidence right now that we've not necessarily seen a top in this cycle. So right now, if we get this correction out of the way, which I think potentially we have done, you know, for 20-week EMA right there for XRP especially, then we could be about to see a turnaround. So I'll go through that with you in the charts today and show you my macro outlook and more of a micro zoomed in look on XRP. So the other indicators I create for yourselves, one is sell the effing rip. And again, this is another confluence in data factor that every time this green line pierces a red line, that's the top of the cycle, okay? Then you enter that big crashing correction where this trends down. Did it just there in 2017? Trends down. Did it there in spring 2021? Trends down. And right now we've not necessarily seen this, okay? So obviously on the way up, it never feels like it's going to get there, and even now it just doesn't feel like it's going to get there. But you know, like I've always taught you, data, not emotion, okay? The market's extremely bearish at the moment. I see so many videos. Savvy, he's always bearish, isn't he? You know, you're coming up every single peak for Savvy is distribution. You know, ever since the bottom down here in November, which I relayed to you. So, you know, for me, I'm just relying on the data, not emotion. And because Savvy says we're rolling into a bear market, or, you know, whoever, I'm just relying on the data right now. So, you know, until I start to see structural breakdown in Bitcoin and XRP, I still think there's a chance here, you know, given the data points I'm relaying to you, that we've not necessarily entered this bear market. So the STFR, amazing indicator. Now the inverse of that is the BTFR, or basically BTFD, sorry, it's buy the effing dip. I don't want to swear, but every time Bitcoin touches this green line, it's a buying opportunity in the market. And this is something I relayed to you. If we go back when, in August of this year, look at that beautiful bottom, and Bitcoin impulsive off that. It's done incredibly well. So, you know, these are just indicators that create for yourself. So the cycle waves indicator, I think is really cool as well. And I'll explain this indicator to you and go through this with you. Now, I've explained this before, but I'll give you a refresher on this particular indicator I create for yourselves, okay? So the cycle waves indicator, this is an indicator I've really said CoinsKid crew. Now I've been tracking the, you know, the sentiment, the overbought and oversold conditions in the market since roughly October 2023 right there. So this goes back quite a long time. so you can move to the left. Okay, so basically this is the current time frame. So from here we've got what we've got. We could say, okay, 3 months. The last 3 months is what we're looking at right now. So you can go to all, you can go to 1 year, you can go to year to date, 6 months, 1 month, 2 weeks, whatever. Okay. So at the moment, what we've got, if you take a look at that dump moon. Sorry, red dot on the charts. This was a dump moon, and what happened ever since? Come for a little bit more, and then boom, you rolled into that big crash and correction. So if we zoom out for the last 3 months. Okay, so how accurate is this pump and dump moon in this particular indicator? So it's not guaranteed, obviously, but it's, you know, I think the market moves in waves, and this is what I've taught you. Okay, and this is basically a representation of that. So what we do have in this chart is the Bitcoin price action, the dots, which is your pump, your moon phases. So you've got a pump moon just there, a dump moon just there, pump moon, dump moon, so on and so forth. So the dots represent the moon phase. So, you know, people have said for a very long time that the market is basically affected by the moon phases, which is so silly, I know, but this is why I created this indicator, because there is a little bit of accuracy in this. Okay, not guaranteed, not always going to play out, but, you know, in combination with this particular indicator at the bottom, which is your fear and greed, which I've been logging for since I think October 2023 right there. This is just a representation of overbought and oversold conditions on the micro time frame. So what I tend to look for as an opportunity to buy or go long is a spike up in the bar when it's big blue and green, basically when we've got a lot of the market is sitting in fear, okay, and or oversold conditions. Really simple. So whenever we see a major spike up, I do relay this to you quite a lot with the combination of the indicator up there, we do see an opportunity. So just there, big spike up, buying opportunity, comes back up, okay, then you're trending down. A couple of days later, big spike up, you start to come back up to the channel. You know, it's just an opportunity to buy some spot positions or long positions and ride them back up. So just there, you're trending down. Oh, it's going to zero, big spike up in the fear, basically oversold conditions. A couple of days later, you bottom and then you trend back up, okay. And this is something here, you know, this is one of the biggest oversold and, you know, fearful conditions that I've seen in the market for a very long time. And I did relay that to you on Twitter at the time as it was happening. And then look, you're coming down, oh no, it's going to zero, but you big spike up in the oversold and fear conditions on this particular indicator. And what we've seen, Bitcoin come up, go sideways, we trace back to it. So this was a buying opportunity on the actual day. But like all wicks, and this is something I've relayed to you, we do tend to come back and fill these wicks. Even this wick here, we come up, we retrace and we're filling that wick, okay. And even here, you've got a wick here, come up, we trace that wick before putting another high in just there. So, you know, typically we do see wicks filled for Bitcoin, whether or not to the upside or to the downside. So I think that's what that is, possibly a selling climax represented in the chart by the fear and greed, basically the really, really extreme oversold conditions on the micro time frame. And what we've done, we've come up and retracing right now, but right at the bottom of this retracement, we are getting something today called a pump moon. So how effective is a pump moon? So this pump moon was beautiful, look at that. This pump moon was not so beautiful. It did pump for a couple of days, but you was at the top of the trend. Look, you were at the top of the trend. So basically the pump moon at the top of the trend is not as powerful as it should be. Down here, you're trending down, sideways to down, and then you've got the pump moon. How accurate with that? Look at that beautiful move of that pump moon. So 1, 2 of these moons were pumped, basically the pump moons in the last 3 months has been successful. So is this going to be free? Because at the bottom, if you take a look, we're trending down, and right now, just like this here, we're trending down. Oh, no, it's going to zero. You get your pump moon, what happens? Pump to the upside. Okay, so trending down, what happened? Pump moon, trend to the upside. So there's a possibility, the fact that just because we're trending down and with the pump moon means that we may be about to turn around here for Bitcoin and obviously the crypto markets and obviously XRP. So that's a cycle waves indicator. Now the best thing about this indicator, I think, is whenever you see major spikes up on these bars, it's always a buying opportunity, whether a little bit spot or long position, whatever, because you'll always see a positive reaction a couple of days after the big spike up in the, you know, the fear and greed, basically, when the market becomes extremely fearful and really oversold. So you could just use that as a representation of that. Whenever you see a big spike up, just buy a bit of spot, trend it back up, sell into resistance, you're making money. Really, really simple, okay? So let's dive into the XRP chart right now to see what we can see, okay, going forward. So looking at XRP on a monthly time frame, we're trending way above the monthly 20 EMA right now, which is currently $1.16. So I think, you know, in time we will come back to that. And I think the next time we do actually come back to that and lose it and get a close below it, we have entered a bear market here for XRP. So keep an eye on that, because at the moment it's like a magnet, basically. What happens is the price comes up, it slows down in a range, and then it allows the EMAs to come back up into it like it did here. Okay, look at that. So you come up, you go sideways, get your touch off of 20, rocket ships refueled, boom, blow off to the upside basically. So that's my primary expectation at the moment. Until we break down below the monthly 20 EMA, I still remain bullish here for XRP. On the monthly time frame, I think it's in a whopping uptrend. Look at that from this low here. What we've seen is a 1 2 3 4 5 setup, a flagging wave 2, breakout back test, CLA top, broken a third point resistance of a huge massive horizontal, and like I taught you, compression lead to expansion. We should in theory break out the third point resistance, and this is something I've been looking at with yourselves for a very long time, that we've got this beautiful level of ascending support where we've been buying all the dips, and we should experience the rip on the third point resistance, and that's exactly what we've got. There's your second point resistance, your first point resistance, compression lead to expansion, breakout right on cue, the third point resistance. It's been on the thumbnails in my analysis for a very long time. So a lot of people say crystal ball and things like that, but it's no, I taught you in the channel that, you know, whenever you see these patterns, whether they're ascending triangles or whatever, you come up into it, 1 point resistance, second point support, second point resistance, high level support, and boom, you break out the third point resistance. We've traded many of these, you know, they're working horizontal, symmetricals, whatever, descending triangles, but it's always the third point resistance, so you look for the breakdown basically. So far so good. So I think going forward, our bull market support, our big macro bull market support, that in time, if we break down below that 20-month EMA, you know, get one close below that, boom, you know, we're entering a bigger macro correction. At that point, we've got to project to the downside. But until that day comes, I'm riding the bull here, okay? A lot of people say I'm an idiot and things like that, but if we zoom on the weekly time frame, you can clearly see this is the buyback zone that I gave you on the loss of $2.50. I said to you, put some bids on the 20-week EMA, because that's exactly where I expect a big boy bounce, and we've got exactly that. So my primary at the moment is the fact that that's a 1 into a 2 into a 3. This is an expanding flat 4. This is a C wave that's complete, and right now we're looking to turn the ship around and break to the upside. And from the low here in July of last year, this is actually 1 2 3 4 5 setup where we could experience some kind of sideways consolidation before another move to the upside. To roughly at a minimal the $8 target up there, which is the 1.272 fibs. So far so good. I don't see any deviation from this bull market for XRP. I actually think it's still in a bull market, but one of the earliest warning signs, obviously, from this point, if we break down below the 20 and turn it into resistance on the weekly time frame, okay, then you've got an increased probability of a macro correction at that point. But until that day comes, we're riding the bull here. It's not hopium, it's just pure data that I'm relaying to you. So again, you can clearly see here, you're riding the bull, it's coming up, breaks out, get the close below 20. Okay, you've got your whopping correction. You come up, you ride in the bull, you break down below the 20, you make your low high. Okay, you've got your correction. So at the minute, I'm riding the bull here for XRP. It's doing incredibly well. So let's zoom in on the lower time frame, see what we can see for XRP. Okay, on the hourly time frame, is there anything that's going on? Let's zoom in. So look at XRP on the hourly time frame. I think we've got an expanding flat correction that began in December just there, and there's confluence in other charts, and I've shown you. Okay, I don't necessarily think that that is the top of an impulse. I think that's a correction. It's a 3-wave move up from this low here. Okay, you got a beautiful 1 2 3-wave move up, and right now this is C wave, which may have completed in 1 2 3 4 5 waves basically, and this is what I look for in C waves. Those people who've been on the channel for a very long time, 5-wave counter, whether or not you come up in 5 or down in 5, it's always an opportunity. So like I relay to you at this point, if we do begin to drop here, we will be coming down to 1 2 3 4 5 waves to the downside. Beautiful 20 EMA back test. That could be a sweet spot to buy back if you lose this pivot point at $2.50, which is what we did. Okay, and then boom, we've got the buyback zone just there, and we've seen a lovely bounce around about 30% so far for XRP. So what we need to see in the current time frame is impulsive and corrective waves from here. Okay, so we've got this overlapping corrective wave, boom boom boom. See that overlapping zigzag waves? So possibly impulsive corrective right now, couldn't look for another explosive impulsive move to the upside. Now why do I think we began a correction there and not here? Okay, really simple. I think this has been some kind of A into a B into a C that's possibly completed, and right now you're calling up for something like that. And the confluence is in many of the charts, but one of the key charts that I keep an eye on with yourselves is V-chain. So if we drop the V-chain chart in, again an altcoin, we've got an A wave down, the B wave high which made the lower high, we've got the A wave down, the B wave high that made the higher high, and then boom, C wave, and then boom, C wave. So what I look for in both charts, in any charts in a C wave, is a 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, a 1 2 3 4 5, and this is pretty much what we've got. So there's no guarantees that this correction's over, but I do actually think with the zigzag that we're looking at in V-chain and the expanded flat correction that we're looking at in XRP, that this is merely a correction that we've been in the bull market since December, not January. Okay, so in theory we should be coming to the completion of the correction. Even if we experience another drop to the downside, I think it's a buying opportunity here for XRP to eventually turn around and give us that 5th wave we're missing in the charts. So it's really simple. I'm looking at confluence of the charts to say, okay, you know, we're in basically zigzag for the vast majority of alts, but an expanded flat correction in Bitcoin and XRP because of how bullish they are. So I'll leave you with that. If you are looking to trade XRP, long, short, whatever, then do use Blowfin. It's an amazing exchange, and obviously buy a bit as well. But don't be an over leveraged degen. If you're looking for longs and shorts on the micro, jump onto CoinsKid.com in the index there, and it will give you clues. Take care, everyone. Back to another update on XRP. Stay healthy, stay strong, stay tuned. Bye bye.